home game, so we'll go. It is.
Definitely.
Our clock is off, so.
Yeah.
our
We have
battery.
6:01.
Ready?
Let's go.
Michelle's on.
All right, she's not coming today.
Oh.
Michelle's not. All right, we'll call the regular meeting of August 22nd, 2023 to order. We could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Douglas,
Here.
Ms. Hayes, Mr. Horvath,
Here.
Mrs. Sensi,
Here,
and Mr. Thompson.
Here.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes,
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
motion passes.
Do we have anybody wishing to give a board member report this evening? All right.
Do you have a moment of silence in your folder, or did she forget to give you that?
I do not see it.
Okay, well, I will quickly. If she
right.
doesn't,
Go ahead. Sure.
give it to you, and it's always sad when we hear of one of our Madison family staff members, former staff members passing. Cindy Ferrito, who was a longtime teacher at Homer Nash, passed away very suddenly, right before school started. And she will be greatly missed, and she leaves behind her family here that's in Madison, grown children, her husband, and she touched a lot of people's lives. She retired from the old Homer Nash building and then came back to substitute for us after her retirement. Did a couple long-term subs, so she stayed involved. She was a member of the organization, and I could be wrong on the name because I don't have it in front of me. I think it's Delta Kappa Gamma. Is the education honorary that a lot of our teachers have belonged to over the years, and she was a member of that. And I know she touched a lot of students' lives, and she will be greatly missed. So let's take a moment of silence for her.
All right. Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 26th, 2023 board meeting?
I'll move.
Second.
I'll add that's the regular meeting. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes,
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We don't have anyone registered for public participation, so we'll have the reports and recommendations of the treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Douglas. I would like to start off by recommending the approval of the July 2023 financial statements as presented.
I'll move.
a second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes,
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next up, I would like to recommend the approval of the following donations. To accept a generous donation of school supplies from Park United Methodist Church to South Elementary School to be used as needed. To accept a generous donation of book bags with supplies from Sarah Samstag of Furniture Warehouse of Ohio to Madison Preschool to be used as needed. To accept a generous donation of $500 from Permuse Grand River Operation to North Elementary School to be used for kindergarten supplies, and to accept a generous donation of gift cards from Madison Tap House to North Elementary School to be used for staff street reward.
I'll move.
a second.
Any discussion? Thank you very much to all the folks who are donating. Roll call?
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes,
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Does that conclude your report?
That's it.
All right, reports to the administrative team.
All right. Well, Mr. Measle reminded us earlier today that 10 years ago tonight, we were dedicating or doing the ribbon cutting on our 2 new buildings. So the buildings are now a decade old. I guess we can't call them the new buildings anymore. But that was quite an exciting time for the district, where we opened South Elementary and the middle school. And I would have to say that our custodian staff has kept those buildings looking very nice. I'm walking in on opening days, the floors look good, they look bright and shiny and all new, so 10 years ago, it was a big night in Madison. It just,
Yeah. Where does time go?
it goes very fast. To that end, I want to talk a little bit that I think opening, knock on wood, has gone very smoothly. Students have adjusted to the schedules. The staggered start, especially in our elementary and middle school, where we gave them a prolonged staggered start, helps to adjust those students to the routines of school without being overwhelmed by all the students in the building at once, especially for our kindergarten and first graders who are just, getting back into the routine of school and being in school all day. I know we've got one of our kindergarten teachers here, not to put her on the spot, but did you have anybody try and fall asleep yesterday or today? Yeah, a little bit dozing, because it's a long day for those little ones.
If they didn't fall asleep there, they fell asleep on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh.
That often happens, yes. But I want to thank everybody involved for that smooth opening. It takes a lot of work to go into opening school, and they make it look seamless.
How many kids did we end up with kindergarten?
Kindergarten right now, I didn't get an updated number today. We have 171
Okay.
between North and South. North has more. I think they're like 85, 86. Or maybe they're close to 90, and South has 80. Yeah. So the numbers are getting up there. It took them a long time to trickle in all summer. At the beginning of August, we had about 150 kindergarten. And I would anticipate, 10 more between now and Labor Day. It's just the way they tend to trickle in. So, but I was at South yesterday for their opening day with kindergarten, and they were getting right at it, getting into the routines. Every class was doing something a little bit different. But they were all attentive, ready to learn, and every teacher said they had the best kindergarten class ever. I don't know. Is yours the best kindergarten class ever?
By far.
That's right.
I
'Cause
don't
what's not to
recall,
love about
I
kindergarten?
don't recall a year where it went this smoothly. You know what I mean?
I can't believe you said it out loud.
Yeah.
I think the bus thing has been great. I have not heard any complaints about the bus.
Things have been good.
I mean,
They have really worked hard, and, again, transportation for making sure we have enough routes and getting everything ready. It's been a great start. And I'm not gonna complain.
Kind of full of joy.
It is full of joy. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. I have some things to read about joy. One of the teachers had their kids say, "What brings you joy about school?" And they shared them with me. We are still looking for some staff. We have some needs in our pre-K. And we also have some needs for some aides at our high school. So we are looking for staff. And if you're looking for a great job and you're listening out there, working with our students, it couldn't be any more rewarding. So if you're interested, email Dave Poole right here. I want to give a shout out to the Blue Streak Revitalization Committee. If you haven't been by the high school, they've been working very hard for the Friday night opening. They've done some painting, they've done some landscaping, and I think they're going to do some wraps that should be available on the fences by Friday night, but they're looking forward to sharing that with the community at our first home football game on Friday evening. So I want to thank the Blue Streak Revitalization Committee for working with our maintenance staff and athletic department to make all those changes happen. And Friday is such a busy day. Fox 8 News will be featuring our Madison High School marching band on Friday morning. And I have to give a huge shout out to our transportation department, community bus service, for helping to facilitate this, because every single one of our drivers is committed to routes in the morning. So in order to make this happen, CBS has to provide some outside drivers and outside buses, because all our buses are being used in the morning. So
They're up early.
yeah, they are leaving. They are leaving, I think, the high school at 6, maybe even a little before that, and they start playing right at 7 a.m. on the 7 a.m. news. And it is very exciting. It truly is, using the theme of joy. It's a joyful morning. It's fun to watch. We also have to watch because they dodge the bees. There's usually a lot of bees for whatever reason down there in the morning, this time of year. But I do want to share just a couple things that I had one of the teachers over at North open their classroom on opening day with their third graders. What brings them joy? So what in school brings me joy? Being with my friends, playing fun games. Love getting to know new friends. Those things bring me so much joy. I love making new friends and playing with my new friends. So there's a little picture there. I like gym, but I also like math, and I like library and art. It brings me joy. Making new friends and meeting new teachers and learning new stuff and people being kind.
Oh, I love that.
Recess because I get to hang out. I like gym because I like exercise. I like art because I like to craft. I like making friends because I meet new people. Those are pretty good.
Those are good.
That's awesome.
I'm going to put some of them out on the bulletin board out here.
I love that.
I think they did a very nice job, and it's we're trying to spread the theme of joy and keep revisiting it throughout the year. And that is my report this evening. Mr. Bullock, do you have anything?
Just a quick shout out for the Blue Streak Block Party about a week and a half ago. That was a lot of fun. As we came around in the parade route, I was amazed at the turnout there. I guess really, once we started wrapping around the high
Right.
school and all the way over to the middle school. So if that big dark shelf cloud hadn't moved over, I think that would have been a fun night for a long time. But yeah, great job by everybody who participated, and a lot of vendors that showed up, and that barbecue was
good.
pretty good. That food truck too.
Was there a lot of people, did a lot of people go Sunday night?
About 42
About 42
to hear
people.
the band. Yeah, to hear the Big North band. So
It's a shame that night didn't kind of play out the way it would have, but I hope this is an event that will continue
Oh,
on.
I think so too. It's a nice tradition, actually.
You did a lot of.
he really did.
That's it.
Mrs. Grimes?
I'm happy to say that we are mostly staffed except for some assistants at the high school. I know that a lot of the local districts were having real hard times filling positions for intervention specialists. So we have a really strong staff. We were actually done pretty much hiring back in, early August, I think was the last, probably mostly June. So we still have a lot of students moving in. We had more students move in than we've had move out, who have special needs and who are identified. So our staffing is, they're getting busy and trying to organize all of the incoming records, and that we've been busy. But we have, I met today with our BCBA, which is a behavior specialist that we contract with from the ESC, and she'll be in the buildings she's contracted for 4 days. And so that's a big help for all of our staff to kind of help with emotional supports and how to work with behavior, and also writing reports. So I'm looking forward to working with her, and she's got, lots of plans, and, the staff is really excited. So
talk about the media contact we had today.
Oh, yes, thank you, thank you. You know, my husband never calls me like right before a board meeting. He knew it was board meeting night. And I was like, well, I better take this call. What happened to the car? And it wasn't that. He was listening on the radio to public radio. And he said, are you arming your teachers? And I said, what? I said, well, it's funny you mentioned that because Sean had gotten a email from a local news channel asking the same question. So I went and Google searched it, and the state released 40 districts in the state of Ohio that submitted lists of teachers that they were going to arm. And Madison local schools was one of them, but there is more than one Madison local school district in the state of Ohio. So I can rest assured that if anybody hears or reads about Madison arming teachers, it is not this Madison. One, this board and I have never had that conversation. None of the schools in our Lake Geauga, Ashtabula County, I think, said they were doing it. So it's not even something that's regionally on the radar.
So to clarify, we have school resource officers in both elementary schools, the middle school and the high school. And our school resource officers are police officers. They're not security guards. They're law enforcement officers. And that's a partnership between the village, the township, and the schools. So we do have law enforcement in all of our buildings, just to clarify.
Right.
For
And
people
those are
who-
the only people that are armed. Okay.
All right.
All right, so you ready for recommendations this evening? Under the employment motion, we are asking you to accept the resignation of Renee Lawrence, preschool instructor, effective August 1st. To accept the resignation of Candace Moore, preschool classroom assistant, effective August 15th. To accept the resignation of Amber Amato, educational assistant at Madison High School, effective August 17th. We're asking you to approve the following employment contracts. Employ Hannah Abramzik as sixth grade math teacher / seventh grade science teacher at Madison Middle School under a one-year limited contract. Employ Catherine Otterman as a fifth grade teacher at North Elementary School under a one-year limited contract. To employ each of the following substitute teachers as approved by the Educational Service Center of the Western Reserve and/or the Madison Local School District's Assistant Superintendent under a one-year limited substitute teacher contract, beginning with Sharon Alcantor and ending with Nancy Woodworth. Each of the following building substitutes for the 2023-24 school year at a rate of $105 per day, beginning with Tiffany Green and ending with Catherine Hearn. Employ the following persons under a one-year limited contract as a preschool instructor at the hourly rate and compensation listed below. And that would be Lauren Marquet at $35 per hour. The following persons, each under a one-year limited contract as a preschool assistant at the hourly rate of compensation listed below. And that begins with Heather Stanford and ends with Leanna Rupp. And Heather Stanford should also be at $10.67 per hour. And that's just the base rate on our aid scale. We just didn't catch that one. Employ Janice Howery under a one-year limited contract as a preschool secretary at the rate and compensation of $13.12 per hour. To employ Danielle Croyle as a 3-hour educational assistant playground at South Elementary School, effective August 16th. To employ Kayla DeFranco as a 3-hour educational assistant playground at South Elementary School, effective August 16th. To employ Peta Bahan Patel as a 3-hour educational assistant playground at South Elementary School, effective August 16th. The following certificated personnel under a one-year limited supplemental contract for this coming school year, and that's Bert Savon, Madison High School assistant girls golf coach. The following non-certificated persons under a one-year limited personal service contract for the 2023-24 school year, beginning with Phil Young, freshman football co-coach, and ending with Cheyenne Christian, Madison High School cheer advisor. And to approve a change in placement on a teacher's salary schedule pursuant to ORC and the negotiated agreement, as long as we are in receipt of their official transcripts by September 15th. And that begins with Wendy Horvath and ends with Chrissy Vilchek. And And then we're asking you to approve the following transfers: to transfer Tara Ludwig from a 6.5-hour position as a special needs assistant autism to a 6.5-hour special needs assistant MD unit. Transfer Amanda Hariska from a 6.25 special needs position at North Elementary School to a 6.5-hour 1-to-1 special needs assistant position at North Elementary School. To transfer Jamie Moore from a 3-hour educational assistant cafeteria position at North Elementary School to a 6.5-hour position as a 1-to-1 special needs assessment assistant at North Elementary School effective August 16th. And that's the personnel motion this evening.
I'll move.
A second.
And for your discussion, I would like to just share that Catherine Otterman is here this evening, and she is a graduate of Madison High School,
Welcome back.
teaching at North Elementary, 5th grade. And I do believe Allison is on here as a substitute. It's a family affair tonight.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was very excited.
Does it seem a little surreal to be coming back to the same place?
It's a little weird. I'm still getting used to it. It's also surreal to like have my own room. 'Cause I feel like I should still be like, I'm the same size as some of the fifth graders. So,
Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Horvath.
Abstain.
Motion passes.
And we have an Eagle Scout resolution tonight. We haven't had one of those in a while. His Eagle Court of Honor, I think, is I think it's in early October, either the end of month or early October, and we'll figure out who's going to present that. But we are recognizing Alexander Davis on earning his Eagle Scout Award this evening. I'll go through the motion.
Okay.
I'll read the resolution. Alexander Davis is a senior at Madison High School and is a member of Boy Scout Troop 750. He's been awarded the Eagle Scout Award, the highest honor a member of Boy Scouts can attain. Whereas Eagle Scout Award project was designed and constructing a small library for the Geneva Food Pantry, and where Alexander's 3x5x5 library was completed with 152 total service hours at an estimated cost of $975, most of which was donated by local businesses. And whereas Alexander gathered over 1,500 books of various genres for various age groups to promote literacy within the community. And whereas Alexander's achievement is a source of great pride and accomplishment, not only to him and his family and his troop, but to our entire community. Now therefore be it resolved that Madison Local Board of Education commends and applauds Alexander Davis for earning the prestigious Boy Scout Eagle Award and living up to the ideals of the Boy Scout oath. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be proudly presented to Alexander Davis on behalf of this board and the entire Madison local school district.
Second.
Any discussion? Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. We haven't had one of these in a while,
Yeah.
so.
Roll call?
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
and Mr. Douglas.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we have a very lengthy consent calendar this evening. A lot to read. So to enter into an agreement between the Madison Local School District and Wood County Educational Service Center to provide residential treatment for Madison local school students is found on file in the board office. Enter into an agreement with the Madison Village Police Department and the Madison Local School District to provide a school resource officer to South Elementary School at a cost not to exceed $38,500. The service will provide an officer on duty for 7.5 hours per day for the 2023-24 school year. Entering into agreement with the Madison Township Police Department and Madison Local School District to provide a school resource officer to Madison High School for 8 hours per day, Madison Middle School for 7 hours per day, and North Elementary School for 7 hours per day at a cost not to exceed $105,500. The service will provide an officer on duty for the 2023-24 school year. Enter into an agreement between the Madison Local School District and the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio to serve as the fiscal agent for Title III Language Instruction for English Learners Grant Consortium for the 23-24 school year. To approve the 23-24, and we had several people look at this, Madison High School Madison Middle School and Elementary School handbooks and the pre-kindergarten parent handbooks as found on file in the board office. To approve the contract between the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio and Madison Local Schools for the services of 2 interpreters for the 23-24 school year. To approve the contract between Belfair Jewish Children's Bureau, operating as an educational institution known as Monarch School and Madison Local Schools for the education, therapy, and support for students served outside the Madison Local School District for the 23-24 school year. To approve the contract between Hogan Transportation and the Madison Local Schools to provide transportation services for students served outside the Madison Local School District for the 23-24 school year. To approve an addendum between the Educational Service Center of the Western Reserve and the Madison Local Schools to increase days of service for Kelly Kaminsky, Nutrition Service Director, from 180 days to 183 days for the 23-24 school year. To enter into a contract with the Community Bus Service Incorporated to provide student transportation services for a 1-year period beginning July 1st, 2023, as found on file in the board office. To enter into a contract with the Lake County Health District to provide nursing services for the Madison Local School District. To approve the contract between the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio Crossroads and Madison Local Schools for the education and support of students served outside the Madison Local School District for the 2023-24 school year. To approve the following school fees for the 2023-24 school year: elementary fees, $63, middle school, $87, high school, per the attached list in your agenda. And that is it on the consent calendar.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
On
We'll do a
here-
motion in a second first,
I'll
then
move.
you can.
I'll move.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
On here it said for south was for 7 hours, and then the other one for north is for 7.5 hours. Why aren't they the same? Because they're the same hours.
They need help down in the village with crossing, so he does traffic in the morning.
Okay, so that's where the other,
Mhm.
okay, I was just curious
Yeah,
why
at
they
the
was,
beginning and end of the day, he's out there helping with traffic,
okay,
because it does back up.
okay, that's what I was just curious about.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
Yes,
Motion passes.
Do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, very quickly to discuss 5. And yeah, that's 5.
All right, do we have a motion to move into executive session for the purposes of matters required to be kept confidential by federal law, rules, or state statutes?
Move.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Horvath,
yes,
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Thompson.
yes.
We will not be conducting any business. When we return from executive session, we'll simply be adjourning. So we stand in recess.